Welcome back to the Arbor League. I'm Arbor Andy, and today we're going to be talking about the Naiad Cup. The Naiad Cup is a Silph tournament that only allows Bug, Dragon, Psychic, and Water-type Pokemon, while banning Dark, Fairy, and Rock-type Pokemon. This year, they decided to include Greedent, Miltank, and Snorlax, despite them being pure normal types. And on the ban list, we have Araquanid, Galarian Articuno, Cresselia, Fortress, Lantern, Medicham, and Toxapex. So let's take a look at the Pokemon that I've chosen and the teams I'll be using in the Naiad Cup. Hopping over to PV Poke to take a look at the standings here for the Silph Naiad Cup. We've got Altaria as number 1 here. He wouldn't go in the thumbnail if he wasn't number 1. And like I said earlier, this meta looks like it's going to be very water and bug heavy, which Altaria resists both of those typings. We've got Mew as number 2 here, and Mew's pretty good. It's a wild card, as you never know what it's running. It's got access to so many different charge moves, and Shadow Claw that gains energy really quickly here. But this meta is suggesting Wild Charge and Dragon Claw for the waters and the dragons here. We've got Jellicent as number 3, and here's something interesting that I saw was Miltank, Greedent, and in this version is Shadow Snorlax. All 3 of the normal Pokemon that they've decided to include this year are in the top 6. Not even in the top 10, they're in the top 6. We've got the regular Snorlax down here at number 11, but number 4, 5, and 6, Miltank, Greedent, and Snorlax. I think they're going to be of use. I thought it was really important to pick one or more of them. I don't have a Miltank built, but I think Miltank is going to be really strong. It has access to Thunderbolt there, and that can hit a lot of the waters for super effective, and even Pelipper here for double super effective. And it's also got access to Ice Beam, which does neutral to Pelipper there, but it can do a lot of damage to flyers and dragons. But looking through this list here, Altaria is the only dragon. We've got Como-O down here, but they are weak to ice, super weak to ice for Altaria because it's a flyer. But this meta is suggesting Thunderbolt here. It gets a lot of water types, and it can hit some of the steel types for neutral damage as well, whereas Ice Beam would be resisted. But I think we're going to see a lot of Miltank. We will take a look at my team later, and I will show you what I've built. We're going to take a look at the rest of the Pokemon here. According to PV Poke, we've got Pelipper, Genesect, Como-O, Bronzong. It's good steel psychic typing that can handle a lot of neutral damage because it resists a lot of things. The steel's really good. We've got Walrein, Galvantula, Charge Bug, some of the electric type coming up because we've got a lot of water types in this meta but a lot of the water types here are going to have a dual typing probably of ice or ground. So that's the kind of the only thing keeping them down. With the ice, there's not a lot of dragons, and even Como-O here is a fighting type, so that can take care of the ice as well. And a lot of the other water types are going to have like Whiscash and Quags are a subground typing. So I think that's why Altaria here is going to do really well. And the thing is with this meta, like, we don't see a lot of psychic types, and I think because of Pokemon like Galvantula, Charjabug, Genesect here, and even Snorlax, Greedent, we can hit the psychics for super effective damage with the Crunch. Snorlax also has access to Lick, so we're not going to be seeing too many psychic types. The only reason that Mew is up there, I believe, just because it's such a wild card. It charges quickly, Wild Charge, Dragon Claw. It can hit a lot of things for heavy neutral damage. It's a great safe swap. Everybody knows how good Mew is here. We've scrolled down here. Got Galvantula Shadow here, Quagsire Hakamo, Dragonite Shadow, Gyarados Shadow, Lugia, pretty tanky. But we can see here, like, we're missing a typing here. The steels are all the way at the bottom. Like, we've got Urachi down here, Wormadam Trash, Durant. And I think the reason for that, again, all the steel typings, this is a very water-heavy meta. So the waters do resist steel type attacks. They also resist a lot of the waters that, like I said, that have a ground typing. resist that zap cannon, actually, so because the ground double resists and the water take's super effective, so it still ends up being resisted. So these waters here are going to take care of these steels, and they're also a sub-ground typing. Like I said, Whiscash, we got access to Mud Bomb. Quagsire has access to Earthquake. So we're not going to be seeing a lot of steel types. If we do, it's going to be something like a Genesect here, because it takes neutral damage from ground types because the bug resist and the steel take's super effective. And a lot of the steels here, we've got ice types, but again, the ice types have a subtyping of the water, so again, it does neutral damage here. So I think like Walrein, Celio, even Gyarados the Flyer takes neutral to Ice Beam, so we will have to watch out for Miltank's Thunderbolt. The weird thing here is we've got Alolan Raichu down here, Wild Charge, Thunder Punch. You can run Grass Knot if you want. A lot of people catch Swamperts off guard that way. They throw a Grass Knot and it can anything grass can one-shot a Swampert. It takes 4 times effective from that. So we've got Goodra, Hypno is down here. Again, we've got Snorlax, we've got Greedent. We've got answers for these Psychic types. So there's not a lot of Psychic types either. Victini, again, is a sub-typing of fire, so a lot of the waters are going to take care of that. Wobbuffet, again, can be a wild card because it's such a tank, but not a lot of people have one built. We've got Wormadam Trash here, which is okay because it's got Confusion as a fast move. It is slower to charge, but it's got Bug Buzz, which can debuff. Iron Head is okay move. Buzzwole, Lapras, Vespiquen, Pinsir, Druddigon. You guys can take a look at the rest of the meta here on PV Poke. Just wanted to show you guys a couple points that I thought were pretty interesting. Also, I apologize for the sound quality. I am just getting over a cold, so my voice may sound a little bit different. I may sound a bit stuffed up, so I really apologize for the quality, but I wanted to get this video out because my tournament started today. As you can see, it's in the February. My opponent agreed that we can battle tomorrow, so I wanted to get this video out to show you what I'm going to be using before that happened. So we're going to take a look at my team now. First of all, we've got Altaria. Like I said, he wouldn't be in the thumbnail if he wasn't number 1. So I picked a lot of meta picks here. So we've got Altaria. I also decided to go with Jellicent. That way, if we encounter any ice, we can cover for Altaria. And we've got Greedent. So like I said, I didn't have a Miltank built. I have a Snorlax, but I really like Greedent. Greedent is tanky, and the crunches, they can get the debuff. So we've got Pelipper as well, and Pelipper was another one that was up there. The Flyers are going to be doing really well against some of these bugs. Not really Galvantula, but we've got answers for that. We've got Walrein. So yeah, Walrein has access to Earthquake, so even if it comes up against a Steel, it still has a fighting chance as Earthquake. The ground would do super effective here. And we've got Galvantula. So I have things weak to Galvantula, but I have Galvantula in the back to cover for them as well. Heading back over to PV Poke, we are going to see how our Pokemon do in the Naiad Cup. Now, this being a Show 6 Pick 3, it is only going to give a general overview of how these 6 Pokemon perform in the Naiad Cup meta. So it's not going to be the same as GBL where you just input the 3 Pokemon. This time we're going to input all 6 Pokemon and just see how they do across the board. This isn't in any particular order or not. This is just to see how these Pokemon that we've selected can do in the Naiad Cup as a whole, in general. I'm going to add 2 more. Here we got Walrein, and then we've got Galvantula. Here we're in the team builder part of PV Poke. Generate this response to see what PV Poke thinks of our team. So we have a rating of A, C, A, B. So A for coverage. I think we've covered our bases really well. Like I said, I think my team is weak to Galvantula in the front. PV Poke actually says that Altaria loses to Galvantula, which is a little unfortunate. because after the debuff, the Dragon Breaths don't add up as much, but it is kind of glassy. So us having Jellicent, Greedent, Pelipper, we've covered our bases pretty well. Like I said, not a lot of Psychic types, not a lot of Steel types, and we've got Altaria being number 1, and then things to counter its counters in the back. And then C for bulk, which kind of surprised me. Like, Altaria has relatively like moderate bulk, so does walrein, but Jellicent and Greedent are pretty bulky, so I think they're going to be my safe swaps, or Galvantula, we'll see. But as a whole, this team itself as a whole is not that bulky. And then we have A for safety, so it has extremely safe matchups. It's flexible, it can pivot, so yeah, we've got the bulk as the safe swap to play around with, the crunches, the bubble beams, and the lunges. We've got debuff moves, so we have some play in the back. We're not completely out of luck if we have Galvantula in the lead. We've got Galvantula in the back as well, so worst case scenario, we can go into the mirror. And then we've got B for consistency. Now, consistency is us playing well. That means we would have to play to the best of our abilities in order to perform this B rating here. So if we do that, then we do get a B for that rating. And now I will show you the teams that I've created using the Pokemon that I've chosen. The first team is Altaria Double Debuff. It received an ACAB rating on PV Poke. Altaria is extremely weak to ice and does not do well against steel types, so we have a water and an electric type, as they both resist steel and cover the ice weakness. They also cover the psychics that we will see, and the playstyle is very flexible as both have attack debuffing moves. Debuffs can actually flip a match, allowing you to win switch, or soft lose, and allow Altaria to come in safely, absorb a debuffed move, and get ahead on energy. The next team is Galvantula, Greedent, and Altaria. It received an ACBA rating on PV Poke. This team is pretty flexible as it can be played in any order. I like to try Galvantula on the lead as it also has a lot of winning matchups. Greedent is just a pretty good safe swap all around, and it has access to Crunch. It doesn't wall it against steel types. It's bulky. It can also handle the Psychics and opposing Jellicents, so we cover those typings as well. And Altaria just takes care of the rest with its bulk and oppressive Dragon Breath damage. Even against other dragons, it outbulks them. So we're starting to see a theme here. I think there's going to be a lot of Altaria Galvantula cores with an interchangeable third. And the final team, Galvantula, walrein, Pelipper. This team you just have to watch out for the Mud Boys in the lead, which walrein and Pelipper take care of. And in neutral matches, you may want to switch out to bait out an opposing electric type, so you're not caught with your pants down in the back, and you can come back in to the mirror and lunge the opponent, so hopefully Galvantula can take out the swap and whatever was in the lead, or the opposing electric types, and you can handle whatever's in the back. I also wanted to propose a team with 2 Pokemon that I haven't shown yet, so this one's for fun. So those were my teams for the Naiad Cup. Tell me what you guys think of them. I will keep you updated by posting a video after each round that will include my teams, my opponent's teams, and my analysis of the battles. If you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, leave a comment and tell me what you thought. There will be much more Pokemon Go and Go Battle League content like this in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Arbor Andy, and I'll see you buds in the next one.